Terry Riggs, Mr. Riggs, New Beginnings, Black Ice TV, the one and only station. Check it out on YouTube.
What's going on, UK? This is KT, the Arch Degree, here with Black Ice TV 7.
What's good? I am Jimmy Exodus, UK South London rapper, singer extraordinaire. Big up to Black TV7. Peace.
Good on, family. This is Abu Ratata from Galaxy Radio. And I watch, I listen, I observe Black Ice TV all the time. Again, which is
inside. We got Black Ice TV. You gotta know it's magical from the Audio family. Stay rooted. Stay
What's up, people? I go by the name of Lioness. I want to pick up Black Ice TV 7, baby.
This is Shakara representing when I am not watching or billing or producing or creating for Rock Push TV. I'm checking out Black Ice TV. Boom!
Yo, it's your boy The Weekend with Black Ice TV 7. You already know, keep it locked. It's your boy. A lot more to come in the future, so make sure you keep it locked. Stay right here. Don't go nowhere. This is the place to be.
Yeah.
Big up Black Ice.
Find the name of every deity. Make sure you check out Black Ice TV.
You already know that this might actual anytime I'm in and around town.
Rap chasing with the like we run what's happening. They had body issues, it's not issues. We been rocking. Next fight mission. My thoughts is too advanced for the artists on these labels. They come sweeter than savour, the softer than mashed potatoes. I try to run over MCs like Land Rovers. Sand cover, we stand over the Atlantic. Cincinnati, big Ohio status, what you want money, you pass it.
Can you hear me?
Life has been a battle, rising above the crabs and barrel. Wait till you feel it in the death shaft to steal.
Can you hear me?
Talking accurate, start shit, back it up. We get down to niggas. Now, trade matched up like whip, hydroplaning, hydroid, brain to maintain. You remain playing, yo. Got to tell you the face, you get replaced in this game. While we play face with the name. These cats drink champagne, the toast, death, and pain. Like slaves on a ship talking about who got the fly chain.
Rich, what's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry for the delay.
It's all good. It's all good. Now, I knew I was going to be playing the intro first. Yeah, big up to the people that's joining onto Black Ice TV 7. Addition information by the people for the people. Get me? I'm joined here by my good friend, long-term friend, man who used
long time.
That tells you, yeah, he used to cut my hair. He used to give me a fade. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah. Big up to Topaz in the chat. Big up as everyone comes in. I'm just sharing out a link or two and just getting us all prepared and ready.
How can I share it to my Facebook as well?
You can, okay, so I'll share it direct from Black Ice TV Facebook page, and that will allow you to put it on your Facebook.
Okay.
That's the easiest way I would think. And then you can you could share the direct Facebook link out to your people. So stay with me, people. I'm just making sure we're just ready to go. All the links up before we begin this conversation. Pin that up. Right, that's done. Okay. As you come in, people, you know the routine. Hit that like button. Share the link. I'll subscribe. If my camera goes in and out, it's only the reception. So to make sure that it's live. If the sound goes funny, please give me a heads up in the chat. Let me know. Chris, if you can't hear me, please give me a heads up. Let me know. But yeah, without further ado, today's show, education of the youth during and after this pandemic. That's the title of the show. You know, our brothers got multiple hats. So, you know, before he even got to this point. So I really want to hear his story. I know the people want to hear his story and his journey. So yeah, let's start from the beginning. You know, introduce yourself to the people and, you know,
All
let
right.
them know a bit about who you are.
All right. First and foremost, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on your platform. As you done already said, we've known each other for a very long time. Love the work you've been doing. Been doing it for a minute. I've seen what you've been doing. So when you said, boom, let's do it, I said, come on, it's about time. So my name's Chris SIBIA. I'm a writer, a publisher, president of a charity, mentor, and I do a little bit of public speaking. My journey started, I want to send a shout out before we get started. I want to send a shout out to DMB TV, a network similar to YouTube, but the people them control. And I'm going to be using that moving forward. Big up, Wesley. Yeah, so my journey started with the untimely death of my son. The day after I buried him, the police caught up with me and it all went left for a minute. Yeah. So at that point, I said to myself, you know what? I need to, in my son's loving memory, I need to give something back to the young people to make sure they don't make some of the same mistakes that I had made. You know, as a youth man growing up, like education was like kryptonite to me. You feel me? Books. I'm like, does it make any sense? My mum used to tell me all the time, you must read, you must read, you must read, education, education, education. But the reality is, I'm saying, yo, but like, not being funny, you're struggling. You understand? You're always complaining about this and that. You ain't got enough for this, you ain't got enough for that. But you want me now to do all of this education thing so that I'm gonna be struggling like you. I'm saying, no, there's got to be another way. You feel me? So that was kind of the kind of problems that me and my mum had with regards to me and education. I saw a man them on the road making it, doing the thing. I'm saying to myself, boy, these like man them's on the road eating right now. I must can eat like that myself. You feel me? So. Right. So that was kind of where I went left, where I should have been studying, I should have been concentrating on my education, but I was more on what I can do on the road to get money. Now, I wasn't making it like that on the road, but I liked the fact that I was free. I was able to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. You feel me?
Right.
So that's kind of where my journey was. I was with man them. We was on the road trying to do what we doing, but we could do our own thing. We didn't have the system breathing down our necks. You understand? And anything we did do and it worked, it was like to the system. You get me? So I mean, that was my life for. What from a youth man, from early teenage, 13, 14 to about 26. You feel me? 26, 27, 28. When my little man, well, I have to talk about Francis. Anytime I'm talking about my turn into focusing on education, I have to talk about man like Francis, because where my mum had told me all this time I must educate myself, read, but my mum's starving, she's broke, she's complaining. She ain't really starving, you know, but she's acting like she's starving to me. You feel me? So she's telling me I must educate myself and all of this, but I can't see it. But Francis come into my life now, and he was a man looking like me, who's got the nice car, the house on the hill, all the things that I would want. And he's the first man I've seen getting it legit, where the boy them can't see him and bother him. You feel me? So
he was
when I'm seeing him now and he's telling me, educate yourself, read, do X, Y, and Z. Like now I gotta listen, I gotta take him serious because I can see him getting it. Like sometime there, as you mentioned, I was cutting hair. So I would cut his hair and he would give me £50 a trim. So, and then he's coming like every week. So as we got to know each other a little bit more, like he would start bringing me books. Now he was a computer programmer. He would bring me these books now, and he would tell me, "Yo, bruv, listen, if you read this book, your value is gonna be X amount." And I'm saying, yeah, but I'm on the road. I'm doing bits and bobs. Everything ain't smooth because road ain't never always smooth. You get me? But I'm doing bits and bobs. I'm doing enough to not really want to start reading these books because I've failed miserably in school. I'm not the best at reading, and I know I'm gonna sit down trying to read this book. I'm gonna read these pages, and I ain't gonna remember nothing I just read. So I was like, yeah. But I would take the books and I would just put them down. Right. So what he didn't tell me and what I found out years later is every time he gave me a book, he would put 50 quid in the book. And he didn't tell me. So it's only when I went years later, I went to Canada, I injured my leg. When I came back, I couldn't walk for like about 9 months. I couldn't walk. So now nothing ain't going on for me. I start pick up these books. When I start pick up these books, I'm seeing all these 50 quids in all of these books, and there's a bag of books. And there's a bag of 50 quids. I'm saying to myself, right, is this the value this guy placed on education? So I started reading these books, and because he was a programmer, like programming isn't for everyone, and it wasn't for me. But there was a program called Mavis Beacon, yeah, and it taught you how to type. Right. So now this program's teaching me how to type, and I'm learning, and there's like little games that you can play while you're learning how to type. So I'm doing this now, and that's basically all I'm doing with regards to studying the code and the programming that he wants me to study. I'm starting to read other books, but I'm not necessarily doing the code, but I'm learning how to type. I didn't know typing would be so important to me like now in my life, you feel me? But boom, I'm going through. Then what happened is I stumbled on another little something that then took me away from education back to the road. And that kept me busy for the next 10 to 15 years. You understand? That phase in my life kept me good. I traveled whenever I wanted to travel. I was good. I wasn't in no problems for many years when I was doing that particular thing. So it's only when that thing started turning bad, as road always does. You feel me? It's then when I started now reverting back to, well, when I say that thing turned bad, that was what the police caught up with me for, you understand, the day after my son died. So at that point, I said, right, I'm out. That thing that I've been doing, I'm out. I'm not doing it again. Yeah. Now I'm gonna write my story in my son's memory and see where that takes me. So that was really my journey into education and trying to show the youngers the importance of reading sooner rather than later. You feel me?
Okay. Okay, I feel you on that one. Let me bring myself back in. Listen, people, for those who don't know, who are just joining us, I'm here today talking with my good friend Chris SIBIA. We're talking about his journey and his thoughts on educating our young people. We've just been talking on an introductory basis about his life and what sparked his journey into higher education as far as learning, reading, writing, to a level that now he's created a business off of it. He's an entrepreneur and he's inspired other people that I know personally to go on and write their stories, whether it be fictional or fact, in a few terms. So again, I don't want to break your train of thought. He was just talking about now reaching the point of your son passing and you coming off of road again. So at this point, and you wanted to write your story. So pick up it from there then, brother.
Yeah, so boom, when I started writing this book, I realized it was like therapy for me, and it was therapy. Like it like, man, them, like, we're taught that, we can't show our emotions, like whatever happens, man, I have to just hold that and just keep on going straight. You understand? That's kind of how I was as well. So it's kind of, as I wrote it down and then I read it back and I reflected, I was like, right, this is quite serious, and I felt like I definitely need to not glamorize or promote necessarily all the glamorous stuff on the roadside. You get me? I have to tell a true account of the ups and the downs, because no one is going to tell you that it's bare ups when you're on the road. Yeah? No, it's a myth. There's more downs probably than ups when you're on the road. So I mean, I wanted to make sure that I emphasize that point in my story so that people could see that life is supposed to be a marathon, not a sprint. Too many of these youths are out here trying to get it now. They want it now. They want it. No long thing, no working for it, no graft. They want what they want now. And it's been designed that way for them to fail and spend long times in jail. You feel me? So in me writing my book, I wanted to make it as clear as I possibly could, that fact. You feel me? So now, boom, fast forward 10 years, because my first book took 10 years to write. Like, and the reality is, like, with the beauty of writing a book is from you write and you save it, it's always going to be there. You can go back to it as and when. So there would be times when I'd work on it consistently over the week or over a month, and then there'd be times when I wouldn't look at it for like 6 months, a year even. But as I carried on going, and it started taking some kind of shape. Like, I would let certain people that was around me at the time read little bits, and I was like, yo, right, I want to read this, yo, you need to, you understand? So that kind of gave me a little incentive to keep on going, until finally I've now linked up with a few editors. I've got to big up Yvonne Moser as well for his help in the book business for me, because he was a guy who I met along my journey. Towards the end of my journey, I met him. He was on the road selling his books. I said, like, right, he looked like Plandemic at me. I was like, right, what are you saying to me? You've written a book, yeah? He said, yeah, I've written a few. Me and him got talking. I bought one of his books. I read it over a weekend. I hollered him on the Monday. I said, yo, bro, listen, big up for that book, That book right there is the kind of book that's similar to my kind of book. You feel me? That's the kind of book that I am writing. And at that particular time, I thought that I was the only guy trying to do this thing. You feel me? Because
you didn't feel a connection to that to that author life.
when I was in school, remember when I was in school, there ain't no books that represent us. Our life, London life, road life, something that we can identify with and enjoy. They're powering us off with some idiot thing in school.
Right.
So when I've read his book now, I latched onto him little piece because I'm saying like, we kind of the same kind of, you get me? But then he introduced me to some others who had also written books and man them. So I'm saying, all right. Imagine now we was 10 years or 20 years sooner, and our books was in schools where like young people was picking up our books in English. You get me? Like reading our books in English, because the reality is, if they're reading our books in English, they're going to be reading the book. If the youth mans are picking up books that they don't identify with 1 inch, the book's a load of shit, like they're not going to be finishing this book.
Right.
They're going to be falling behind their English, and then they're going to be failing, and then everyone's going to wonder why. But if they're reading books now that they can relate to and they're learning something from, that's going to now encourage them to read more.
Right.
So, boom, anyway, my book now, I'm ready to release my book. But my book is coming in at 137,000 words right now. And the average book is about 45,000 at this time. You get me? So I'm thinking to myself, right, like my target audience is man them like me, man them that don't like to read. You get me? So I'm saying no one who I want to read this book is ever going to read this book if it's 137,000 words. You get me? Like, that's just fact. Yeah? I said to myself, you know what?
You read at that time.
You understand? I said, yo, listen, I'm going to have to break this into parts. So, boom, now, I broke it into part 1. So now it's time for me to sort out publishing. So I've contacted the company that you do with publishing, and they've given me a price. They gave me a price for 1 ISBN. They gave me a price for 10 ISBNs. Yeah. Now, 1 ISBN and 10 ISBN, there was hardly anything different in the price. So I said to myself, well, it makes sense I get 10. But now, me getting 10 ISBNs means that by default, I've made myself a publisher. So now, I can't be a Mickey Mouse publisher. I've never been Mickey Mouse in anything I've tried to do. You understand? Like, I'm not a Mickey Mouse guy. I try. Whatever I do, I try to do it to the best of my ability. So I said to myself, you know what? I need to start helping people write books. Because remember, even though I wasn't learning the coding and all of that, like Francis suggested I did, I learned how to type. You understand?
Right.
So now, boom, I'm reaching out to certain man, saying, "Yo, bruv, what are you saying to me? You want to write a book? You want me to help you write a book?" Man, I saying, "Nah, blood, nah." Bear man told me, "Nah, blood." I'm like, right, go on, why? You get me? Man saying to me, "Bro, there's certain things that no one don't know, you know, and listen, mum, certain things my mum don't know, and I never ever want my mum to know certain things I got up to as a youth man. You get me? I could respect that. You feel me? But at the same time, like, I can't be a Mickey Mouse publisher. I've got 1 book right now. I need to
hold on. Well, let's rewind the tape piece, because you've said something here that's insightful, and I'll go back to you inspiring people. I want to first ask you something about when you was writing your book. You obviously, as you said, you know, it's one thing to read a book that you can self-identify with. This is for the public or anyone else who's reading. But obviously, you're talking about telling your own story, and some of it's going to be good, funny. Some of it's going to be bad and tragic. So when you was writing, did you find it therapeutic for yourself? Because I know you said you was working on little bits, going back,
a million percent was therapeutic.
What like for you reading back your experience?
It was emotional. Certain points I actually cried. I actually cried to myself. You get me? Just me and the computer. I just cried personally to myself at some of what I was reading, and the fact that I was letting it. It was coming off my back. You feel me? It weighed heavily on my back for a long time. You understand? I hadn't talked about certain things to no one. You feel me? So
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I said I can imagine.
Yeah. So this was kind of now part of what I used to encourage some of the elders to think about writing their stories. Because, like, for example, one man, I said to him, I said, boom, listen, like, you've been on the road all your life, yeah? Or the majority of your life. What's your retirement plan looking like, bruv? You get me? Man said to me, right, I ain't got no retirement plan going on right now. I said, so boom. I said, listen to what I'm saying. Let me help you write a book. Like depending on how well you promote the book, depending on how well the book does, that is potentially your retirement plan right there. You feel me? So this is how a man start look and say, you know what? Boy, you know, that's right, you know. So this is how me and Reggie start. So Reggie was the first.
Shout out to Reggie Stepper. We got to shout out Reggie Stepper.
Shout out Reggie Stepper. Shout out Reggie Stepper. So boom now. I've convinced him. It was hard work as well. Hard work, but I've convinced him to let me help him write his book. Yeah?
Right.
First day I sat down to write the book with him, I said to him, all right, boom. Tell me the most poignant memory you have in your life. He burst into tears and left my house. he burst into tears and left me. You know, Reggie. You understand? He ain't crying for a man. You feel me?
Yeah.
He burst into tears and left my house. I was like, right, what happened there? My man walked from Walthamstow near Heim Hill all the way to Leytonstone. Yeah? Crying all the way. When he got home, he phoned me, he said, Chris, I'm so sorry. I've never thought about this. I haven't thought about this, what made me cry, in the last 30 years. You understand? So boom now. I said, what was it? He said, it was the death of my mum. Yeah? His mum was ill and she'd progressively got worse over a period of time. And the day before she died, he went to the hospital like he'd been going to the hospital for the last 6 months or so. And on this particular day, she was calling his name, Reggie. And he turned his back on his mum that day. And he turned his back on his mum because he was tired of seeing his mum in so much pain. But that was the last time he saw his mum alive. And that was the last time his mum called his name. And he turned his back on his mum that day. That day, he didn't look at his mum once. And that made him cry. It was big, serious tears, you know. I knew it had to be something like that. I didn't know what it was. But when he told me, it fully made sense. You feel me? So, boom. We got over that. We started working on his book. And we got it done. We got it done over about 9 months. Over about a period of 9 months, we got his book finally done. So it's on top. It was ready. Yeah. Now, yeah. It was an emotional journey, a very emotional journey. Look, so let me just jump in quickly, and this is a product of my environment.
This
Available.
is the book. This is the first book that you wrote.
This is the one that started it all. Yeah.
That's all.
It's on top. The Reggie Stepper story. This was the second one. Now,
Okay.
there is a third book that I wrote in that time. Also, I'm not gonna be talking about today because London's Finest is going to be discontinuing that book, and I'm gonna be putting out an announcement about that sometime soon. But some stuff has taken place, you know, so.
Okay.
There's a little bit politics in the distance. I'm trying to swerve. You get me? And I mean, I worked very hard on that book also. So to discontinue it now is bittersweet, but for the future, it is the best thing to do. I'm not going to be talking about that book today, but within 2 years, within that year, after when I released my book started catching momentum. Within the year, I had released another 2 books. Because with my book, it was the blueprint. I learned how to do X, Y, and Z. With the next 2 books, I knew how to do those things, so it was a lot easier. Both of those 2 books were done within the same year. So now I've got 3 books on the road. I'm saying to myself, okay, now I'm kind of building up the thing. I've got 10 ISBNs. I've got 3 books. I need more books right now. But
listen, hold up, wait. To the layman, explain ISBN.
So
because you're using this acronym, and certain people might not have a clue.
Sorry. So the ISBN is a unique identifier for your book.
Right.
I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but yeah, every book that's published has its own unique ISBN.
Right.
So it's a 9 or 11 digit code, something like that, and it just represents what book is yours, what book's assigned to the ISBN, and then sales and all that kind of thing can be monitored by the ISBN.
Right. So it's like an official coding kind of thing that carries all the information.
All published books have an ISBN. Yeah. So yeah, now as I say, I'm building up my catalog, so to speak, and because my background before the books and all that stuff, it was promotion. I was on the road. I was linking man, like doing that sort of stuff from early. So all over London, all over England, I got certain links. I know people. So I started reaching out to guys. Yo, what are you saying? You wanna write a book? You want me to help you tell your story? And this is where I started drawing different people from all over the place to kind of. I started opening their mind to writing their story, telling their story, putting it down. Because even though there was man them before me, like it was a thing where, cause a lot of man knew that I was on the road, I weren't into no education, I weren't into no books, you get me? So I kind of made a lot of man think, rah, Sibs has got a book, rah. I can
He can do it.
The reality is it's a little bit more difficult than people may think, but the fact that I've got a book, it was like a beacon of hope to certain guys. Like, right, Simpson's got a book. Like, I can have a book as well. You feel me? And I'm good with
That's
that.
all.
I'm good with that. If that raises your game a little, then I'm cool with that. You feel me? When you start writing it, you'll see it's a little bit more difficult than that. But
Yeah.
you get me? From you start, you got a finish line you're looking at. You feel me? So boom. I've got 3 books on the road. Now, not even up. While I'm writing, it's on top, and the other one, like, people are starting to contact me talking about, yo, we want you to speak here. We want you to speak there. We want you to speak at this event. I'm like, right, speak event? What? You get me? My skin's got catch a fire right now. You get me? I don't speak at events. I don't speak at no events. What do you mean speak at events? I don't do that. Like, I'm not no public speaker. Guys are saying, yo, bro, you're an author right now. You better start talking. You get me to build your brand.
Right.
So now, because I was so not a public speaker, I had to go to a class to learn a little bit about public speaking.
Okay.
I went with an ex-general. I ain't gonna mention his name, but one of the man them doing the work on the ground as well. Me and him went together because he ain't a writer, but he's on the grassroots doing the work as well. And he acknowledged at the same time as me, like, we need to publicly speak, and we ain't ready for that. You feel me? So boom, we went to Toastmasters in Tottenham. And we started kind of learning little techniques.
Well, hold up. Let me ask you this. How long did it take you to come to the realization that you actually needed this professional help? Because enough man then would say, all right, I can't do it, or I'm scared of doing it, but I'll do it somehow. But when did it actually get to that point where you said, you know what? No, it's not plating. I need to find someone who actually knows what they're doing and bite the bullet and go.
Listen, from the start, I knew, simply because, look, the reality is, I said to myself, if I don't learn this now, like, I mean, I had absolutely no clue of public speaking, you feel me? Like, remember, I'm not no writer like that. This is alien invasion to me right now. You feel me? Like, I ain't got no experience whatsoever. So I'm saying to myself, boom, like, talking to man them, I can talk to man them all day. But in that environment where people are looking at me, it's like, it's a whole different ball game. You feel me? Like, you're looking at me to now talk to you about something. I'm saying to myself, right, that's difficult. So what would happen is the thought of it would make my throat go dry. I just finished go toilet, but now I need to speak. I need to go toilet again. You get me? Listen, when I say my ass is falling out at the foot. So when I went to this Toastmasters now, I'm telling the truth out here right now. You get me? Like, it's just the truth I'm dealing with out here right now. Boom. I went to the Toastmasters, and the guy that's leading the Toastmasters, like, so there's people who pay and they progress in the thing and they get really good. But anyone who goes there is allowed to speak. You get me? So first of all, there was like, to the new guys, me, my brethren who I ain't gonna name, you get me? One after the other, like, he said, like, could you stand up and introduce yourself? You get me? I mean, I stood up, and as I say again, bro, the water's right there. I just finished taking a sip, But as I stood up, my throat went dry, where I can't even breathe. Get me? And I was like, my name's Chris, and I just come to try and get me. Thanks. Get me. Listen, my brethren was sitting right next to me. He done this one. He's a bad boy on the ends. like what he done is he looked at the guy and he done this. After we see what I done, he done that with his hand, you get me, to make the man know, don't
Don't even feel him.
don't after you see my ass just fall out, you get me? You get, and when I say his face was so serious, man knew, like, okay,
Don't
one
do
minute,
it.
Listen, he had muscles in his head while he done that, bro. He had muscles in every part of his body when he give man that. He give man like, yo, bro, you call my name and that your neck is chopped.
For you. That's
You get me? My man said, cool. Get me? Cool. Kept it moving. But from then, it got a little bit easier. So I went a few times, and you know, I started relaxing, and then when I got that little bit of confidence there, I knew now what I needed to build on. You get me? So from then now, I knew, boom, if I'm going to talk somewhere, I need to write a bag of notes, and then I need to look at myself in the mirror while I'm reading it. You get me? Remember it and read it. You understand? Right. So that was the personal development that I had to do for myself to get myself to a certain place. But then what happened now is there was one event that I went to. My brethren Joe invited me to an event, and I had 20 minutes available for me at this event, but I hadn't prepared 20 minutes of conversation for the event. You get me? So I gave my little talk about my book and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, shit. You get me? Everyone's still looking at me, expecting me to talk for another 20 minutes. And my ass has fallen out even worse now because I ain't got nothing else to say. So I'm like, oh, shit. So this is the next thing now that I had to take into consideration moving forward. You feel me? Because we don't get many chances in this thing to bomb a public speaking opportunity before guys say, yo, I ain't never booking him again because he can't talk. You feel me? So
and these are all speaking arrangements on your own book.
Yes, but this was it. Even though it's my own book, like I'm a new author, so I'm not tried and tested in the sense where I don't even know how people are gonna really receive my book. By this time, I sold a couple hundred copies. I ain't even sold 1,000 copies yet. You feel me? Sold a couple hundred, and like people are saying, yeah, they like it, but like I'm not tried and tested like that, so I don't really know how people's feeling my book. So I wrote it. I know what's in it. I lived the life. I lived my life. You get me? But I'm not necessarily pinpointing certain elements within my story to talk about. You understand? I would just say to my like, boom, listen, the book's there. Buy the book.
Yeah, your confidence in explaining it and getting it out there and going in was still being rooted at that point.
It wasn't. Yeah. But then what?
One second, Chris. Listen, just so the people then that's coming in, again, you've seen the title of the show, Chris SIBIA. We're talking about educating the children during and after the pandemic. But right now, and for the first part of this show, we're just talking about his story, his journey, how he arrived at the place, recognizing there's a need to educate young people and inspire others outside of himself. So I think based on that, it's important for me to find out and for you, the listeners, to hear his story, hear his experiences, and hear his realizations of where he needed to self-develop and where he then could take that and look at the community and start to form an opinion. Chris SIBIA, continue, my brother.
Yeah, big up. I can't see who's joining or anything like that right now. All I can see is you right now, Rich. So I don't know if people are sending messages. I can't see who's on. I can't see anything. So I'm just making
people coming in slowly, and somebody was just asking what is this conversation got to do with education? But they've just come. That's why I wanted
Okay.
to remind people
Yeah.
what we're talking about and what
Yeah.
we're talking about right now if they've just joined us. That's all. And
Yeah,
remember,
yeah,
people, hit that like button, subscribe to
Yeah.
the channel if you haven't already, and there'll
Yeah.
be links. I'll make sure I get links from Chris for anything that he's doing, and I'll include that later on in the description. But yeah,
Yeah.
brother, continue what you're saying on your developmental.
Yeah. So boom. Yeah, I realized that I definitely need to develop on certain things. And what was more important to me is the fact that if I develop and I can now communicate myself well to young people, like the more young people who see someone who looks like them talking to them, the more inclined they are to start listening. You understand?
Right.
So that was kind of where I saw that I needed my personal development, and in my son's memory, like this is the reason why for me it was all about encouraging the youth. And if I'm gonna develop to encourage the youth, then I better have something constructive to tell them. You get me?
Facts.
So yeah, go on.
Continue. Sure. No. Continue.
Yeah. So I mean, like who said what's this got to do with education? It's a good point. I mean, and I made sure I wrote down a lot of topics that I want to speak about with regards to education, because what we as parents need to understand right now is this: what's going on, this plandemic, scamdemic, whatever you want to call it. It didn't just start last year, March. You understand? They've been planning this for years. In 2005, George Bush said, if we don't do something now to act, remember, George Bush at the time was supposed to be the most important man on the planet. And the most important man on the planet said in 2005, if we don't do something now, we can expect a virus to sweep the world in the next 15 years. He said that in 2005. Obama said in 2015, if we don't do something now, in the next 5 years, talking about 2020, we can expect a virus that's going to sweep the planet. Yeah. Now, you guys wouldn't even believe me if I told you this, but this is fact. Yeah. December 2017. Yeah. The 19th of December 2017, the federal government in America lifted a ban on dangerous viruses, making dangerous viruses more dangerous. In 2017, they done that. Yeah, that's fact. You can check that for yourself. Now, why would they do that if they hadn't had something like this planned? Now, I say that to say this. Boom. They've smashed this economy to pieces. Yeah? Like, I'm gonna just hazard a guess. I don't know, but let's just say 50% of the population right now is having some sort of problem financially because of the job market right now. Yeah, I would assume it's more than that, but let's call it 50%. On the other side of this scamdemic right here, yeah, I don't know what percentage, but it's gonna be a high percentage of the jobs that was here before this scamdemic come along, yeah, are not gonna be here on the other side. So my thing is this: our young people and ourselves, we better start upskilling now. Yeah, we better start upskilling now, and this is the reason why we spent so long talking about the books, is because it starts with books. It starts with becoming a proficient reader. Because if we can read good, then we can teach ourselves anything. Yeah? And what I would suggest is we focus on value creation. Yeah? Since this scamdemic, people have changed their whole way of life. In changing their whole way of life, their spending habits have changed. But people still need things. So our new style of education has got to be fulfilling the needs of the people, fulfilling the new needs of the people. Because what's going to happen is this. The airlines, for example, their airlines crash right now. Yeah? So a guy that was flying planes last week is now out of a job. When he jumps into the job market, do you think my man's going for an idiot job? So then that's going to trickle down. Like, he's going in at managerial level. Yeah? The managers are going to have to take a lesser position to keep a job. Yeah? It's going to trickle down, it's going to trickle down, it's going to trickle down, it's going to trickle down to the young people, where some of them ain't taken education seriously. They haven't got any understanding of what they need to be competitive in the job market, with added facts that artificial intelligence, whether you want to believe 5G is harmful or not harmful, or whatever you want to believe about 5G, the reality is when they started this scamdemic, yeah, that was something that everyone who was on the road saw. People were working on this new 5G infrastructure. Yeah,
putting it up.
That's going to equip the cities for what they term smart cities. So it would be fair to assume that with this infrastructure in place, what they're going to be able to do with artificial intelligence is going to be a next level. Yeah. So we have to take computers being able to do certain jobs that humans used to do into consideration as well. Because the big boy employers, yeah, who are they gonna be more inclined to employ? You, the human who has days off, who gets in late, who has moments where they ain't working to the best of their ability, or a computer that can do exactly the same job more efficiently. Yeah? So we got to add that into consideration when we're thinking about what the job market looks like on the other side of this pandemic.
Right.
You feel me? Like, then we chuck in racism into the mix. You understand? We chuck racism into the mix, we get pushed further back to the end of the bus. Can you feel me? We're getting pushed further back in the queue of viable opportunities. So right now, what we got to talk about here and now, moving forward, is first and foremost, do we really think it's a good idea for us to be, where possible, sending our children back to these schools? Listen. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed, yeah, children, black and white, are doing equally good in primary school. But for some reason, when we get to secondary school, family structure, perfect. I'm getting to that stuff. Yeah? Like, the fact that someone said, what does this have to do with education, is the reason why I've kind of jumped. I had a certain trail of thought, but he kind of sent me in a different direction just so that he knows, like.
Yeah. No, listen. Follow your own thought. We know what you're here to talk about, so you follow the thoughts that you're comfortable with. I'm just going to be highlighting comments as and when they come, and pick up to everyone who is commenting. Yeah, we're reading it. I will highlight it, and if the brother sees something that's relevant that he can answer and it's not taking him too far, of course he will. But
So adding the racist element to this conversation we're having right now. I was giggling to myself about it earlier. When I was a youth, man, there used to be skinheads that used to get beat up. Yeah?
Right.
Boom. The beauty of a skinhead is you could identify this guy is a racist because he showed himself in the fact that he skinned his hair, he wore certain clothes, you could see him coming. Yeah? But what happened when he realized, like, yo, these guys can see us coming. This is why we're getting a beating all the time. When they grew their hair, did they stop becoming Did they stop having racist views? When they took off them high boots, you understand, and started dressing normal, did they stop thinking racist? I don't think they did. But let's be devil's advocate and say 50% of them decided when they grew their hair, that was long, that was stupid, I'm not going to be racist no more. Yeah? We still got 50%. Yeah? 50% of people who still think that black people should not live amongst us. They should have the same opportunities as us. And any opportunity I get, I am going to do whatever I can to hold them down. Yeah? They became our doctors. They became our lawyers. They became our police. They became our nurses. Yeah? They became all of these jobs that affect us within our community. And some people might say, no. The statistics don't lie.
Facts.
The statistics don't lie. They speak for themselves. Every area that I've just talked about, you will find that we are unfairly represented in every single area I just mentioned. Yeah?
Well,
so
I remember this point from England where the stark minority, so like out of 67 billion or million, population.
68 million. We're like million of us.
Right. So again,
we're a ridiculous percentage in jail. You get me? Our women are likely to die 4 times more than other ethnicities. We're likely to. I mean, the statistics are just ridiculous in every area we're talking about. You understand? So that right there is fact. So my thing is this now. What we've been doing thus far is not working. Yeah? We need to start teaching our children an alternative. Now, my charity is called Learning Foundation Development. Big up my business partner as well, Bernie Brightly, Justin Stennett, Adrian Dixon, big up Nana from Access UK, Colin James, Gangs Unite, Tony, Father to Father. All of the guys on the ground doing the work, big them up at this point. We need to make sure, moving forward, we are equipping our young people with the tools they need to move forward. So me, for example, I've created a charity called Learning Foundation Development. It deals with all aspects of learning. And I see it like this. Boom. Value creation is a key fundamental core subject within the programs that we're going to be launching. It's a newly formed organization, so we're in the building stages right now. But value creation is a fundamental key, like where part of our lesson plan is going to be what the people need, trying to facilitate needs within society. Yeah, that has got to be, we've got to be instilling that thought process in our young people, because look, young people are out here selling drugs because they think that that's a way for them to make money. Yeah, they're not thinking about the destruction it's causing our community. They're not thinking about the individual that they're selling the drugs to, what they've done to get the drugs, how it's affecting them, X, Y, and Z. So there's a lot of different contributing factors that a young person are not thinking about when they get these drugs to sell them. Yeah, that's the first problem. Yeah. Secondly, 90% of them are not doing that well selling drugs. Now, the simple fact, if you can bring yourself to a position in life where you decide you're going to sell drugs, there's a million and one things you could do before you decide to sell drugs, if we plant the right seeds in our young person's head beforehand. You feel me?
Definitely.
And this is what grassroots organizations on the ground worldwide, not just London, not just England, worldwide need to be doing, planting the seeds of value creation in young people's minds. So, but value creation isn't the only thing that us at Learning Foundation want to instill in the young people who we engage with. Like, that's something that develops over time, in the sense where you've got to train a young person to now adopt this new way of thinking. Yeah, a lot of people, it's going to take time for us to adopt this new way of thinking. It takes time for me to adopt the way of thinking. You feel me? Because we've been taught a different way of doing things. So we've also got to give them something tangible. So what we want to do at Learning Foundation Development and Gangs Unite, Access UK, Father to Father, 100 Black Men, all the rest of them, is we want to give them core skills that no one can ignore. You feel me? Like the core skills of old were English and maths. Yeah, we still need those core skills. Yeah, but us facilitating our young people now, it's past that. For us, it's past that right now. They English and maths is something they better already know before they get to us, or they're in trouble. Yeah. What we want to instill, what I want to instill in Learning Foundation Development is, boom, 90% of these guys, they want to either be in the music business, they want to be in the sports field, they want to do some sort of sports, some sort of music, or maybe film production or something like that. They want the glitz and the glamour without all the work. Yeah. Right. But we're going to be smashing that myth to pieces, straight up. Yeah, like what we're going to be doing, we've got the teams in place to facilitate the sports direction, the film production direction, the music production direction. We've got those things in place. But what we want to do is we also want to give them a core subject, which is, for us, some sort of coding, because we done already talked about artificial intelligence moving forward as the new way of the future. They want these smart cities all over the world. Yeah. Artificial intelligence is definitely a thing. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be teaching all of our young people code as the new core subject. And then when they finish doing their coding for the day, then they're gonna have they're gonna have their chance to do what they want to do, which is i.e. film production, music production, or they want to go into sports, whatever it is. You get me? Now,
so they have to learn the prerequisite. Just to be clear, they have to learn the prerequisite of coding.
Yes. Every day they have to do a certain amount of coding. They have to learn, get to a certain level with their coding, and then they can do what they want. Yeah.
Right.
Now we're gonna facilitate every aspect of their learning. So when they get good at music production or whatever it may be in whatever field they desire on that side of things, then we're gonna put them in contact with high profile sporting personalities or production companies that do X, Y, and Z or whatever it is. We've got the people in place to make that happen. But coding has got to be the core subject. So at any particular time, we've got top coders who are gonna explain, like, right now, X, Y, and Z coding has just touched the market. Yeah. So what that does is that bypasses color. Yeah. You've got old boy coders who have been doing code for 30, 40 years. They do the C++, the Java, the this, the that. Yeah. That's what they know. Yeah. This new stuff, they don't know. So if we can teach the youths the new stuff, yeah, they then become as valuable as the old boys because they know what is relevant and current right now. And that's the core. So if, for example, they wanted to get into one of them wants to get into boxing and he tries his thing and it don't work, he can go into a top job doing coding because he can prove he knows it. You feel me?
Definitely. Works like a scholarship program almost.
It's a scholarship program, so to speak.
Yeah. Similar way that you get a core education alongside of whatever sporting accolades or other skill set that you may have.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Let me ask you this. Is it something to do alongside normal schooling, or is it something in your head that you want to be able to offer in a full term supplemented, we
want a supplement type situation for our young people, because right now they've showed us in every aspect of life, they've showed us that it's them and us. Yeah. Like, the reality is, when Europeans do well in school, yeah, they have an uncle, an auntie, a cousin, a granddad, somebody who is going to assist them in getting a job. That was what it was like before coronavirus. Now it's going to be more difficult, but those same rules apply. The Asian community, same thing. Their parents have got jobs that their family can step into. Yeah, it's only us that does not have that option. So right now, we need to upskill our young to a point where don't care how you look. If you can use that particular code, we need you, and we're gonna pay you 10 grand a month. You understand?
Definitely.
So
I get where you're going with the core, replacing the core skills, because again, just as an example, I homeschool my son, and my mantra to him is always been, if you read, write to a good level, and maths, you can learn anything. There's no skill,
and that's it,
that you can't go out and learn. So I understand the replacement thinking in the sense of coding being that core subject going into the future that
yeah.
all of us kind of need to have a basic.
Don't ever, sorry to interrupt, don't ever think I'm saying that we now must disregard English and maths. No, English and maths still got to be the core, because with English and maths, as you said, you can then learn anything else you want in life as and when you need it, as and when you want to. Yeah, but right now, we're under pressure. Yeah, right now, we need to know what direction we're going, what direction we're moving forward now, because they caught us with our pants down with this coronavirus. Hey, this time last year, who would have thought we would be in this position we are a year later? Remember, this time last year, this corona thing hadn't started yet. Or we was just hearing little whispers. You understand? They caught us with our pants down right now. So right now, we need to catch up. And catching up for me looks like learning something totally different to what they teach us. Prepare, like, so as I say, young people, imagine you reach a youth man from 12, you teach him coding thoroughly, how to type with coding from 12 to 14.
Right.
By the time he's 15, 16, he's ready to tangle with the best of them.
Yeah.
You understand?
It's just a constant upgrading system then from there. But the core knowledge is there.
You see it there? This is what I'm talking about. And this is the way it's got to be for us moving forward. I ain't concerned. I can't concern myself with what other people are doing out here right now. Like, our community is in bits right now. Yeah, our community is killing each other on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, for no reason whatsoever. And when you look at it, the retardation of the situation is crazy. Like, the youths know that we're in coronavirus time right now. What are you doing on the road stabbing people still? Are you stupid? You want to go to jail around Corona time?
That's the cabin fever.
Huh?
That's the cabin fever of it. I think that's where the lockdown has caused even more pandemonium.
Come on. So I mean, we're under a different kind of pressure, and the solution that I'm trying to give people right now is an under pressure solution, but it's a solution nonetheless. How many people buy on the solution? Time will tell. You feel me? But it is a viable solution. We need to be planting seeds all over the world, not just in London. All over Africa, we need to be planting these same seeds. Africa's the only continent on the planet that can be self-sufficient. But Africa's relying on the other parts of the world for things that it can do itself. This whole mindset, it needs to change. And we are in a position to change that. We have to talk the team.
No doubt. And let me say something as well, yeah. Honeybee, you're exactly right. Most of the problems that we see and we're talking about start from bad family structure. Your first experiences in life, the education that we're talking about, from experiences to book education, core subjects, that all starts at home. I'm Honeybee. If that's not reinforced, this is why, again, the brothers on to talk about us as a people taking responsibility for our children's education, because for too long we've handed this off to, as the brother said, our enemy. You understand?
Yeah. And I saw that poor family structure before as well, and I meant to comment on it then as well. It's the truth. Now, if it's not by design, I don't know what is. Because look, when you check it, our family is encouraged the most. Like, the woman is only going to get her benefits if there's no man in the house. What kind of family structure does that is that conducive of? What there's going to be no family structure if a woman feels like, boom, I'm going to get more money if I kick him out. How is he going to be a positive role model to a child, boy child or girl child, if he's parenting from a distance? Like, we've got so many facets of our life we need to fix, and everything we're doing, we're always doing it on the back foot. This coronavirus pandemic has amplified the fact that we are always having to do things on the back foot. We need to organize now. We need to get our thing together. We need to stop relying on other people. Yeah, we need to accept the fact that we need to take responsibility for our young people. We need to teach our young people something different, because what our enemy is teaching our young people is not working. It is a fast track to jail.
Facts. School to pipeline business.
Yeah.
People, listen. Again, if you don't know and you've just come in to join us, today's show we're talking about educating our young people during and after the pandemic. I'm joined by Chris SIBIA from the People's Publisher, talking about his story at first and what inspired him to get to this point of self-evaluating himself as well as the wider community, and coming to the conclusion that he needed to be a mover and a shaker and be on the front lines and actually start inspiring people, not only to write their own story, but to, again, take stock of their own situation, and through resources that we're now talking about, that his new organization is hoping to provide and starting to provide, educate our young people. Tell me, son, the forming of this new
Charity.
organization. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
charity, a full charity. Okay, so the forming of this charity. When you came up with it, and you started to get certain partners, because you mentioned a few different people from various areas. Were those all specific areas that you thought about and said, okay, these are areas we need to cover? Or was it just an organic thing where people just around you just happened to come to the table?
Some of my guys have been around. We've been around each other for years. We kind of got different strengths, and some really think dynamically in certain aspects. And I mean, we need a dynamic new approach. And what a dynamic new approach for me looks like is something that, bang, no one can ignore. No one can ignore a youth man who knows the most up-to-date code right now. Yeah? Don't care what they look like, yeah? What music they listen to, yeah? What area they come from. If they can prove they can do the most up-to-date code right now, yeah, they're employable. That's it. And that's where we need to position our children right now. Because all the jobs that are going to be left on the other side of the coronavirus are tied all the way up. They're tied up. There's none of them are for us. We might get a little drip and drab here, bus driving and train driving, and we might get some of them, and which are decent jobs, but the majority of the jobs are tied up and they ain't got our names on it. We need to be teaching our young and ourselves how to create our own jobs.
Oh.
I didn't even mention I also created an initiative called Making Bags with Books, which was me basically the books that I published. So I've got 3 books now. Yeah, it was supposed to be 4, but it's 3 now. Yeah, and what Making Bags with Books is it gives young people the opportunity to make money selling all the books that I publish. So I've got like several new books that I'm working on. I've got some really great new material that I'm working on now from some legendary people in our community. And all of the books that I publish, I'm going to be donating some through the charity, and I'm going to be giving young people the opportunity to make money selling the books. So I'm going to be teaching them different sales techniques and ways to engage the public when we get back on the road. And that will be another way to help young people generate income for themselves. Making bags with books.
Okay. And how did that one start off?
It started simply because I realized that and I had a conversation with some young people. I said, look, you right now are begging someone for a job, yeah? What's minimum wage these days? What, £9 maybe? I don't know. Minimum wage. Let's call minimum wage.
Ain't £9? Isn't that? That's a high, rude boy.
I don't know what minimum wage is these times, but let's call it a tenner. Even though it's probably not, let's call it a tenner. Minimum wage, yeah? Look, my books are $9.99. Now, I'm saying to a young person, boom, if you sell one of my books for $9.99, you can put £7 of that $9.99 in your pocket. Yeah? You don't worry about where the books are coming from. You don't worry about selling out all the books. If you can sell the books at $9.99, you can give me £3 out of every tenner. Yeah, I will make sure you have a steady supply of books for the rest of your life if you need books for the rest of your life. Yeah. Now, the reality is this. Yeah, one sale, £7. How many sales could you do in an hour if you put your mind to it? Now, I sometimes I touch the road. Before the corona, I would touch the road and sell the books myself. I put a bag of 40 books in a bag. I'll hit the road. I'll sell them. Yeah. What I would do, I'll go to hairdressers. Yeah. Go into a hairdresser. I've got my pitch. My pitch lasts about 30 seconds max. Excuse me, my name. Can I speak to the management? My name's blah 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 blah. Can I talk to your clients for a minute? Yeah, no problem. My name's blah blah blah. I've got these books trying to encourage young people. I'll give them my pitch anyway. It doesn't last long. Yeah, boom. I'll support. So let's just say we've got 10 people in one hairdresser's. Yeah, 4 of them buy. One conversation. Yeah, 40 quid. Yeah, 40 quid. Move on to the next. And the thing is, like, because my pitch is powerful, I ain't gonna give you the pitch right now, but my pitch is powerful. Sometimes I would sell, if I got 10 people listening, I would sell 7 books one time. So if we own anything in our community, we own hairdressers and barbers. I wouldn't go to barbershops because man, them don't necessarily like to read. Yeah, it's more of a woman thing. But this is the same thing that I would teach the young people. So let's just say, as I say, like minimum wage £10. Yeah, they leave me with 30 books. Yeah, they go into 10 hairdressers. Those 30 books are gone. Yeah, they make 270 quid. They give me 30 quid. I give them more books. That right there, for me, is a viable business model that the young people, if they really got it, they would have been flying. But some of them, they didn't get the concept, yeah? And they just preferred to go and work in McDonald's for that £10 an hour.
Well,
I remember
I was gonna say, I think as well, what helps is the fact that the books they're selling again are relatable.
a
Because
relatable books.
you know what I'm saying? Because book selling's obviously always been happening. There's people I know who sell like encyclopedias and various things, and they're making a nice living.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're coming from a certain mind state. It's educational. This is why you're pushing it. That's your pitch. But again, when you're pushing book selling to the young people, most of the time, they're not going to buy into that unless they identify with the product itself, the book itself. They can talk about it. They can pitch it in a way that sounds believable. So I guess that definitely opens up the market for them straight away.
Well, I mean, look. On the other side of Corona, the option is still available for the young people. It was slow to pick up, but it was happening. And as I say, I would do it myself. Yeah, there were times when, for example, I would take one of my sons with me or both my sons. I say, "Yo, listen, come with me. I want to show you how I do this thing." I'll take them to an event, and this is something that I realized all young people feel like this. So I'm there with my middle son. I've taken him to an event. I've got my bag full of books, parked up, gone inside. Yeah. In an hour and a half, I'd sold 30 books. Yeah. The boy said to me, "Yeah, Dad, it works, but it's a bit of a graft, isn't it? It's a bit of a graft." it's a bit of a graft, isn't it, Dad? I'm saying to myself, boy, like, not everything is going to fall into your lap.
That's
like,
it.
I needed the youth to see how it works, so that they're supposed to latch on and start doing it themselves. But I mean, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink.
That's it.
But until the day I die, I'm gonna be trying, because if we don't try with our young people, who's gonna try with our young people?
That's it. It's our responsibility. Facts.
Who's gonna try if we don't try?
Facts. You get me? And again, you know, I like this story because again, don't get twisted. Whether you're the writer, producer, again, there's still legwork that if you really believe in your product, if you believe in what you're doing, if you're really committed to whatever it is your hustle is, then sometimes you have to pick up yourself and you have to put in that extra work to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? There is no easy way around it. And I think, again, based on the technology aspect of the age we're living in, where everything's a push button, that's where young people today especially are on the now mentality. If it don't happen now, if the information isn't given to them quickly in the space of an hour, there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? If the money isn't made within 1 hour, it's a problem. So I definitely think we're battling that situation. That's why we need structure to be given to young people, and they need living examples, because it's one thing to teach and say things, but again, there's nothing more powerful, as you said, than them witnessing successful black men and women doing the thing in real time, and witness be able to get that job experience, just like how we did in school. You know, in school, there was always that point where you had experience. That can't be, you know, cut out. There's a reason why that was always involved in education, because you need to see the real side of what's going on out on the roads and how things work. And as the brother said, the graph behind certain situations. You know, we can all be inspired and have the spirit to create stuff, but as you said, to get a finished product from a thought, an idea, is two different things. And there's a, you know, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, millions of people simultaneously coming up with thoughts, coming up with ideas, but never bringing anything to fruition, because I have no experience of the graph that's behind it, nobody to encourage them, no resources offered to help them, and or no living example in their own personal life to show them that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Just like how earlier running your story, as you said, when you wrote your story, a man saying, "Hold up, I know Chris from Road, I know SIBIA. Hey, yeah, these man them. We just won 2 suit the other day, and rare, and now what? He's telling me he's an author." And as you said, it creates a bridge gap where it makes it more real to the next person to say, "Okay, well, if he can do it, I must can do it." You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't think we can ever underestimate living examples in these areas that we need to self-improve, whether it be family, business, education. We need to always be putting examples on the shoulders and highlighting them and getting them out there. You get me? Listen, again, your business partner, it's on your t-shirt. I'm looking at the picture behind your head on my poster. The King's Treaty. Just talk a bit about that as well. What
This is like my uniform. You know, when I'm talking about uplifting the community, I gotta rep King's Peace Treaty. Israel, big up. Yeah. So he created the King's Peace Treaty because he saw that young people are it seems like young people want to self-destruct, and it's not they want to, it's by design. Like a well-orchestrated machine has taken control of their minds and is leading them to certain destruction. So the King's Peace Treaty was written by Israel to kind of represent peace. So when we wear the King's Peace Treaty, like it's supposed to say, like, yo, wherever I am, I'm rocking this t-shirt, like, I mean you, my brother, no harm. So show me the same love I show you. You feel me?
Right.
That's the representation of the King's Peace Treaty. We love each other, we respect each other the same.
No doubt. And again, it's important because, you know, we can do our thing for our young people in the home, but when they hit the streets, they're in their own social circles. So again, you know, we got to just find a way to embed these thoughts in their head. You know, as a father myself, and as Chris knows, as a father, the best you can do is impart certain instruction. But when they leave the house, they're gonna do their thing. You know, you can only hope that when they think about you, the parent, whether or not they do what you would like them to do, they know exactly you would tell them to do. I think that's something where if you can at least say that to your child, at least, you know, if your child can always close their eyes and whatever they're doing, what would dad say if they saw what you was doing? And they can give an answer. You've somewhat done your job as a parent. To the best of your ability anyway, because again, you know, as you know,
the outside influences that affect our young people are real.
Right. Facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all of those kinds of codes of conduct, imparting that to our young people is super important. Were you shot in the t-shirts? Where can man get them t-shirts?
Yeah, so the King's Peace Treaty it's not actually available at the moment. We need to get some more. But what I am proud to announce is Gangs Unite, which is our partner organization. We have just got a printing press in Gangs Unite. So the King's Peace Treaty, along with many other clove designs, are going to be being made in Gangs Unite facility moving forward. So what we're doing, big up Colin. What Colin has created in Gangs Unite is a facility where every room is used to create something that we can sell to the public. So we're going to be teaching young people how to make certain products to sell to the public. That's Gangs Unite right now, just off Black Horse Lane in Walthamstow.
Okay. That's all. All right. Well, we're coming up to the hour and a half level. We kind of covered a lot of subjects. We've covered your story. We've covered you inspiring people. We've talked about, core subjects that are needed for basic learning of any skills. We've talked about the coding situation as a basic core subject that we definitely going forward. We've touched on the family structure, definitely, of that being the foundational thing. Let me say, speak to mental health, because again, we talk about being a creative and whatever, but we're in this pandemic, as the title suggests, yeah. So in this lockdown, and in order to be creative, obviously, some would say you need to kind of be happy or at least have a process. Like since this lockdown, as a creative person, how have you dealt with it? How have you kept yourself healthy and positive
Well,
thinking, whatever else? Talk to the people.
I mean, from the start of this pandemic, what happened is it's interesting because I had just started a radio show,
Right.
and about this time last year, I'd done about two shows so far, or even 3 shows, and then this pandemic hit. So I my show was supposed to be about my books. It was supposed to be about me promoting my books, promoting the new authors that I'm working with, etc. But then, bang! This scamdemic just come and just interrupt everything. It's on the tip of everybody's tongue. Pandemic. That's all everyone's speaking about. So I was forced to do some research on the thing. So the first piece of research I've done was I went on the government website. And the government website on the 19th of March downgraded COVID-19 to no longer considered a high consequence infectious disease. On the 19th of March. So I'm looking at that, and then they've put the world on lockdown. I'm saying, wait.
That don't match up.
Health professionals at the highest level in the English government are saying, and don't take my word for what I'm saying right now, people listening, yeah? It's still on the government website right now, yeah? On the 19th. So on the 19th, they wrote the article. On the 21st, it was published. On the 23rd of March, they put the world into lockdown, yeah? So from then, I didn't believe it. It was a scam from then to me. So then I said to myself, all right. So, because first of all, everybody took this thing serious. Like, you had the man them who's absolutely do not believe nothing. Like, they're taking this thing serious. Like, remember when it first started, it was like you could hear a pin drop on the road, like everything lock off. People are staying in them yard, yeah. But then I'll get to find out now that wait there, like people who are dying from getting nicked down by a bus, they no one can't take the body until they say that they died of coronavirus. I'm saying, hey, what are you talking about? You get me? Like you died of a heart attack, yeah, but on your death certificate it's saying coronavirus. I'm saying, hey,
Right.
you get me? I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that people haven't died from coronavirus, you know? But what I am saying is people die from the flu over the years. If you've got certain health conditions as it is, you can die of many other things. But if you look at it, like, all of those other things evaporated when coronavirus came along. You get me?
We don't hear about that.
No one never died of nothing else other than coronavirus. But
Right.
so what I noticed from then is something ain't right about this thing. You get me? Like, all up to now, yeah, as I say, I personally do not know anyone who has died from this thing. I know people who have died from this thing, yeah, but I personally, and I know a lot of people, yeah, I personally do not know anybody who's died from this thing. So we go back to mental health. Like, I instantly, from they said everybody's got to stay in their house, yeah, I've got loads of writing to do. Loads and loads of writing to do. I've got loads of books I'm working on. I just put my head down and started working on the books I got to work on. Yeah?
Right.
And then as weeks turned into months, and man them started to realize, like, yo, this is like a cold. You get me? Like, right, like, I'm not, like, I'm locking down my things when, like, I can be, no, I'm not doing that. So when the office started opening as normal, the man them started going to the office, and we used each other as the support network that we needed. Because when we're together, we laughing, we joking, we giggling. You get me? Everything's nice. So mental health didn't necessarily affect me at all. Like, but saying that, there was times when I was saying to myself, rah, because one of my guys at the office, he said it the best. News, yeah, negative energy weaponized system, yeah,
Right.
and I realized, like, I started feeling a certain kind of way when I would continue watching the news. You understand? Right. News was out here trying to make people sick. Because if you hear the same thing enough, you start believing that shit. So I realized quite early in this thing, I said, yo, listen, I ain't gonna be watching this news too much. Like, you ain't gonna be telling me how I'm gonna be living my life. Like, if the Most High is gonna take me through coronavirus, then that's how I'm going. But I'm gonna live my life exactly how I want to live it. I'm gonna do exactly what I want to do when I want to do it, and we'll see how it goes. You get me? And I ain't taking no vaccine.
Awesome.
I ain't taking no vaccine.
On that one, I got to agree with you on that one. All right, listen, we got to an hour 45 minutes. Listen, all the people joining us and commenting, big up. Let me just say something quickly. There's a brother AA, I don't know who you are, but he was commenting on a few different comments. Let me say this, I think on as far as government and structure and who you, brother, to me, you kind of got backward. Starts with self, family, community, then government. You understand? Like
it cut out a little bit. I didn't catch that. Well, say that again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
I can't hear. Let me see if I can see some of these comments myself. Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I can hear. You're cutting out a little bit. I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all still.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Now?
hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Nah, no, sorry, I was in a comment in the chat. Almost talking about the country. Like,
Without a country,
this was the
there is no
comment.
order. No order is no government. No government is no community. No community is no neighborhood. No neighborhood is no family. No family is no family structure. Boom, bam, right there. Got it all in one.
I would say the only thing that is backward. Because for me, your nation, I'm saying there's no neighborhood. There's no community.
You're
If there's no
cutting out, brother. I can't really hear you.
I
can't hear you. I can't hear
reception.
Yeah. Now it's good.
Am I back now?
Yeah. You're back now. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was just saying, if it doesn't cut out again and it can hold itself, see if can you see me again?
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, I was saying that brother's comment. If we're talking about having a strong government, a strong country, then you need to have a strong family, which leads to a strong neighborhood and community, which then leads to a strong nation, which would lead in turn to a good government.
Yes, because and that's the truth right there, because the family structure, which leads on to the strong community, which leads on to everything else, will force the government to do what they're supposed to do as the government.
Right.
Yeah.
You would hold them more accountable if you already was practicing.
If you notice, that's the French right there. The French have got the French, from what I see from the French, we all supposed to move like them, because what I see is if you got a problem with the teachers, the taxi drivers are striking, the doctors are striking, everybody's striking for one demographic. You feel me? And that right there that makes sure the government behave themselves.
Okay. I hear that. So that's what I was saying to that.
But is there any other comments that we can maybe talk about?
No, I mean most of them are just. I think we've covered all the other ones that were dealing with family. This person was just dealing with the wider aspect of, well, what they were actually talking about is not having a country of our own. And let me just say, on my opinion on this is there's a lot of parts of our liberation or our growth as Black people, as a nation, especially if we're talking on the diaspora level, that I think we're very challenged to achieve while being in these lands that are clearly controlled by other people. And especially if you're talking about being the minority. If we're the clear minority, then having a government structure, having an educational system inside of a country is a lot harder thing. That's why, again, we're now talking about us as individual Black families taking more responsibility, and us as communities together taking more responsibility for the education, the finer needs that we need to produce Black excellence, which is what we all love. But again, Black excellence has to grow like a plant, and it needs fertile ground to grow out of, which is Black families and structured systems. So, that's what we're talking about. But again, before we wrap up, brother, is there anything you want to say to the people? Is there any particular statement you want to leave them? And remember, when we're done, let the people know all the different places they can find you,
Yeah.
get you whatever you need to say or any other information you want to give the people, brother.
Yeah, I mean,
You're on big
all I
screen.
would say, my mantra is less us as adults, us as community leaders, us as people who care about our young and want our young to do better than we did, which is what I want personally. I mean, that's how I see my job. My job is to teach any younger person than me to be better than me, to do better than me. I think we need to be the foundation our children can build on. Yeah, it's as simple as that. If we create the right foundation, our children can do nothing but build on that. If we leave a shaky foundation for our young people, then no house can't build on a shaky foundation. You feel me? So that's what I would say in a nutshell. Where can you find me? You can find me on Insta, and that's writer underscore Chris underscore Sibia, SIBIA. You can find me on Facebook, Chris Sibia. You can order my books. My website is we're changing a few things on my website, so you can't actually order on my website yet, but you can send me an email to show me that you want to order a particular book, and we can get the books to you that way through my website, which is londonsfinestdistribution.com. That's the name of my publishing house. My charity is called Learning Foundation Development. Donations are greatly appreciated. So my website is lfd.charity. So that's www.lfd.charity. You can find that, as I say, it's a newly formed charity. So we're putting things in place right now. Hopefully for perfect timing for when we come out of this pandemic, scamdemic. Everything will be in place for us to move forward and be in a better place to facilitate young people straight off the bat. But yeah, I just started in this community work. I've got a lot more to do. I've got a lot of new books that we're going to be releasing soon. Yeah, all of the books are going to be available for young people to sell through Making Bags with Books initiative. For people who want to donate to give young people a start or opportunity, they can do so through the charity. As I say, www.lfd.charity is the charity website. London's Finest Distribution is the business website for the books. You can find me on Facebook, Chris Sibia, as I say, or Instagram, writer_Chris_Sibia. That's everything, I think.
All right. And I'm gonna get the brother to email me all the links so I
Yeah.
can copy and paste them, and I'll put them in the description of this video so anyone can go, or anyone who watches the video, just go down to the description and you'll find all the necessary links to get my brother, get the books, what books are out. Shout out to all the authors he's inspired. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know, but I know they're all going to be great stories and worth checking out. So people, don't hesitate to approach the brother if you see him, or hit him up on Facebook for some of them books, because there's a good few stories and more to come coming out of the camp. It's been a big pleasure chatting with you, bruv. And again, Chris has come on the platform before on a discussion type situation, and I'm definitely going to be having him back on a different level to have some more discussions and maybe bring some of his business from the charity, because you mentioned some powerful people that, as you said, are doing a lot of work on the ground. I definitely want to get you and your business partner in together, because I don't think I've ever had you both together. Ishmael's kind of in videos and around, but I've never fully had him on the show properly. So I need to get him on so we can chop it up and talk. But it's been a pleasure having you on, brother. I'm just gonna
having me.
Yeah, no, bro. Listen, again, anytime something comes up and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I need to get this subject matter, or this is something that's worth talking about," by all means, hit us up. We're always here and ready to, give you the platform, brother. Black Eyes TV is for the people, by the people.
Boom, bam.
Again, it's a pleasure to have you on and chatting about subjects. I just want to highlight a quick video. We got Black Eyes TV X2. For those that don't know, that's Black Eyes TV X2. And over there, we got self shows called Talking with the Creatives that's been running with Riggs. So the next episode is coming up. So I just want to give the people a taster before we go. So I'm just going to play that quickly.
Hello, I'm Carmel Greystone, and you are watching Black Ice TV 7. You can reach me at carmelgreystone@gmail.com and on Instagram at Carmel Greystone. Thank you.
All the shit we been through, I know you fed up. This constant type of pressure, you ain't led up. This country should be happy we ain't teared up.
Nobody love us, let us not pretend, no. Let us gain our independence and let us not depend. They'll never stop us now, they couldn't stop us then. This country lucky that we only want equality and not revenge. We need to invest in each other, how much you got to spend? If I needed your help, my brother, how much you got to lend? You got a black business, I support you. I'ma buy black, the block I want us to buy back. I'm trying to buy that, I'm trying not to get shot at in Babylon with a cop at. I need to see an all black Amazon I can shop at. Stop that, cause a black man is king, black man is God. Any black celebrity quiet, that man a fraud. Cause they wanna leave us with no blessings. I seen blacks get beat peacefully protesting, leaving the street bleeding with no weapons, or get COVID treated with no testing. I'm squeezing with no questions.
Keep your head up, all the shit we been through, I know you fed up. You ain't led up. Country should be happy.
Yeah, man. I like that as well. Still.
Yeah, Black Eyes TV X2. We're doing all the entertainment and music. We had Trench Town Experience on Sunday just gone. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Nice 7-hour show, or let's say 5 hours, because they was kind of late on their setup. But once they did, it was good vibes all the way, people. So again, go and support that channel over there, Black Eyes TV X2. And as always, we'll be back with another True Talk next week, Tuesday, for our open panel discussion show. I don't know what the subject is just yet, but once I do, you'll see the flyer come out. I may have someone this week come in, lead off the discussion with whatever viewpoint they have. So look out for True Talk. That's every Tuesday. And we're gonna have another panel show, hopefully on the weekend, which I'm just locking down people. That's gonna be about fathers and mentors. So, and the importance of the father figure. So that should be an interesting conversation. And is there something else I'm missing? It will come back to me. We have another educational show next week with another brother, just like our brother here, Chris, who deals with education for the kids. He deals with it is businesses as well, business setup. So he's teaching marketing skills and website design and all of these kinds of things. So again, we're definitely going to keep that momentum going for everybody who is dealing with the homeschooling or who definitely wants to take more responsibility with the education of their children. And whether it's on a supplementary level, in between on a weekend or whatever in the evening, to full-time education, we're going to try and provide as many people with resources to help you do that. And again, I'm happy for it. I'm being a bit selfish because again, I'm homeschooling my son. So every time I bring someone on, I'm probing for stuff myself to give my son and help me with the education. So by all means, I will be bringing more and more shows out and more people that are bringing worthwhile educational tips, hints, and as I said, resources to the table for our people and for our community. But once again, big up to you, Chris, for coming on and chatting with the people. Yeah, it needs to be much appreciated. Big up to everybody who's been joining us on the Facebook and on the YouTube. You want to say something, brother?
No, I'm good still. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, big up to everyone who's been joining us on the Facebook and on the YouTube. It's been a pleasure again talking to you. And what can I say but peace in the wilderness out there. Stay mentally fit, healthy, love black people, support black people, and love yourself more importantly, you get me? Because it always starts with self. If you don't know about self, then you ain't gonna know about nothing else. Yeah, if you don't value yourself, you ain't gonna value nothing else. So big up yourselves every time, and peace and powers, people. Peace and powers.
Respect.